Okay, this is my crazy polytunnel that's been up here for several years now, and my husband made it out of just repurposed materials, and it's kind of gotten out of control here, but it is end of October in zone 8B, the Pacific Northwest, and there's a lot going on in here. What I wanted to point out was something that might be an idea for some people. I bought one of these cheap green plastic small greenhouses, and the first time I used one of these, I had it outside. The wind blew it over, and like just everything that was in there, just everything fell. And that's kind of like a thing that happens to a lot of newbies. And then after that, I thought, okay, well, I still want to use it to keep things, to start things earlier in the season and have things continuing a little bit longer at the end of the season. And so when my husband made this polytunnel for me, I put this plastic greenhouse inside of it. So the wind, when it blows, it doesn't do anything to this. I did the same thing years before that in a very dilapidated glass greenhouse that we got from somebody off of Craigslist for a couple $100s. It didn't keep things really warm enough, so I got one of these and I put it inside, and it kept a lot of things alive through the wintertime here. Things that that otherwise would not have survived in my zone. So this in here, I wanted to point out I have some pineapple sage, and this plant is looking really nice. This plant is a couple years old, and it did survive out here in the greenhouse. Now in the wintertime it did not look this lush and pretty, but it survived. So I did not have to buy it again this year. And then got some dormant items there. Things are starting to go into dormant mode. But I have a Cardoon right here. And this is, I planted it from seed. I got seeds from M.I. Gardener, which he has wonderful plants. I have another one outside that is much bigger. As soon as I took it out of the red solo cup and put it into a big pot, it just took off. But this one, I'm going to try to see if I can keep it alive year round and like not have to plant seed again. So the one outside, I'm going to kind of do a comparison, but I do need to up pot that in order for it to be a fair experiment. So in here I have some little pepper plants that got really cold. Did not bring them in here soon enough, but they're growing back, which is interesting to me. I also have in here some tomato plants, same issue. They're little baby tomatoes that I started late, and the tops fell off. They got too cold. I brought them in here and they're recuperating. Now I don't think tomatoes and peppers are going to survive in here, even doubled up. So at some point I'm going to have to bring them indoors. But this spider plant, these were spider babies. They were on a larger plant that's since died, but it actually had seeds, not just the typical little plants, the plantlets that grow off on the shoots, but it actually produced flowers and seeds, and they dropped into a pot and grew. These have been growing out here for a couple of years, and I'm really excited about that because that means they're going to be much more cold tolerant. These could be plants that I could have on a patio. Once they flower and bloom, it's kind of like letting them acclimate to our temperatures. Maybe in their great grandbaby plants, they might be able to be kept outside. That's kind of like an experiment I'm doing. This here is one of my favorite plants in the world, and I know I'm not alone. A lot of people love it. It's called lemon verbena, and it's not very common or popular, I think, but once you met it, you love it. So you rub the leaf, and oh my god, it just smells just fabulous. It smells like lemons. It tastes like lemons. It's great in teas. Absolutely love it. So I really am sensitive to smells, and this is a really wonderful smell. So is the pineapple sage. It smells great, and it also is very good in teas. And then over here, I wanted to point out something. So the shelves that come with these, we zip tied them we put them upside down and zip tied them, because when they were right side up, everything was wobbly and would fall over. So we put them upside down and zip tied them, so it was kind of like a ledge, and that worked for like 2 years. Depending on the quality of the zip ties, it might last only 1 year. And then they fell, and all the plants went crashing down with it. So I had these trays that I was using. I tried using them from strawberry plants from the Dollar Tree this year, and the strawberry plants did not do well. This is not big enough really for strawberries. Strawberries have a very big crown. These actually do a lot better with strawberries than these. I tend to plant mine in raised beds. That works with the best. Got kind of a cool setup. My husband made one for me out of a giant pot with some kind of like PVC piping, water piping inside of it. It looked really cool. But a raised bed, simple, is way better for strawberries. Anyway, so I had these containers, and I thought, what if they're the same size as the space between the poles? And so I tried them out, and they fit perfect. And so instead of trying to take this and zip tie it again, I decided to put these in the place. And what I like about it is I can stagger them so that the other plants are getting enough light. So that spider plant is going to get enough light. And then these here, I have Angelica Keiskei, which is an amazing thing. I got these starts from Strictly Medicinal. And I've got some peppers over here. You can see that this is wobbly. So the idea of putting these in place here, I don't know how long it will last. The plastic might break down over time. But I'm really excited about this because next year I'm going to pick up some more of these. Because I think with the other greenhouse, little greenhouse like I have here, that I can put those in there and I can stagger them so that enough light is getting down to the other plants. The plants that are shaded from even just having this wire mesh, because when you have the pots inside there, they're shading the plants underneath. So I like to stagger them like this so that the light is getting down, and then I can move them a little bit more. I can take out one part at a time without having the whole tray come tumbling down when the weight changes. So I'm really excited about that. I also like to plant in weird containers. So this right here is actually like a thing for like making ice cream. It didn't have the whole set with it, but I had like a thrift store. But I thought it looked kind of cool, and I put another pot inside of it because I didn't want this to rot and break down really fast. So I know this is kind of a hot mess in here, lots going on, but this space is just trying to keep things alive when the cold night temperatures are dipping down there. Like I said, for the peppers and tomatoes, this is temporary, but my pineapple sage and my lemon verbena survived all year out here. I think the Cardoon will as well. That's my prediction. I also have a little bay tree back there that's been out here for a couple years. I need to up-pot that, but it's surviving in the wintertime as well. And when I left one outside in my climate, it died. So I think that will work. This here is a Cuban oregano. Well, it's called that sometimes. Sometimes it's called the Vicks plant. I've seen other pictures of Cuban oregano that look quite different. So this one is fuzzy. It's very aromatic. Smells delicious. Smells better than it tastes. Lots of cool things here. This is a holy basil. I got starts from Strictly Medicinal for that one too. Alright, so you might try it out. I know this doesn't look beautiful. It's not supposed to be on the cover of Country Magazine or a gardening thing, but just an idea. Small greenhouse inside of a larger greenhouse. For stability, works really well. My husband also put down some wood planks underneath so that it's not all muddy and stuff like that. So lots of ideas here. Using these trays works really well. Trying some house plants outside in a polytunnel when I run out of space. It's working really well. Trying to overwinter some things that don't like this climate in the winter times. Also, as you can see, it's working out pretty well. All right, thank you.